Ndjes për shkëputjen, pra sikur se po të thoja, betejë më e madhe që ka Shqipëria është të ndryshojë modelin politik, mënyrën e menduarit, kulturën politike. Dhe lëvizja e reja ka dalë mban që ka rezistuar. E ka dalë mban që ka rezistuar në këtë kulturë të madhe, e cila papushim ndjen ashpërsinë e realitetit. Tu të grupohesh me një parti politike, të grupohesh me një komunitet politik, të grupohesh me një ide politike e cila nuk të ofron para, pushtet, premtime, joshje, interesat ngushta, meskine, është krejtësisht e pa imagjinueshme. Pyetja e parë që bëjnë njerëzit gjithmonë kudo që shkojmë është çfarë fitoj, çfarë kapni, cili është interesi, ku është llokma, ku është copa, ku është përfitimi. Dhe këto kohë që ne kemi kaluar së bashku mund të duken shumë për jetën e një njeriu, por janë pak për kulturën e një shoqërie. Më besoni që vitet tona mund të jenë për ne si individ të shumta. Po mendoj që ne kemi kaluar 4 vite patjetër që janë të shumta. Por janë pak në atë që quhet transformimi i shoqërisë, i kulturës së një shoqërie. Dhe për mos pas zgjatur dhe për të qenë realisht më shumë kohë dhënës për doktor Betin, unë dua t'ju them që kjo që po bëjmë ne tashmë nuk është një gjë e vetmuar, nuk është një gjë e izoluar. Doktor Beti Uribe ka ardhur këtu për të konfirmuar se gjithçka që ne bëjmë tashmë është pjesë e vëmendjes së shumë miqve kudo në botë. Doktor Beti është njëri i cili ka arritur të ndërtojë një karrierë të shkëlqyer si bankiere, si sipërmarrëse, si networkzuese, si autore libresh, si njëri i cili ka impakt në shumë grupe dhe komunitete ndryshme shtetet bashkëore. Zëri i saj është i dëgjuar kudo nëpër auditor, universitetesh, nëpër auditore, nëpër salla politike, profesionale, akademike. Dhe doktor Beti është një nga njerëzit që po vjen ta shpërndaj kudo fjalën për këtë ekzistencë dhe për këtë gjë që ne po bëjmë. Dhe për mua është shumë kënaqësi që doktor Beti është këtu me ne. Në fakt ajo kohë që ka filluar të jetë me ne dhe bashkëpunon me ne, ky është takimi i dytë që doktor Beti merr pjesë në një aktivitet të lëvizjes së së parti, më përpara ka qenë tek Forumi për Demokraci dhe Etik. Takimin e parë ku doktor Beti ka ardhur dhe është shfaqur një takim politik në një parti politike është kur ne ishim në Florida. Ky është takimi i dytë dhe nesër takimin e tretë që do të jetë dhe më i madh. Por unë kisha dëshirë që ekipin e Durrësit, që ne kemi edhe ekipin më eficient dhe më të suksesshëm, ta kishim edhe ekipin e nderit në këtë prezantim. I said very big words, so trust me. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Is this good?
yes, it's good.
Okay.
Do you need to translate the simultaneously or?
Yeah, because I think we need to
Oh,
display.
let's go down. Tuve. Fine, there you go. Yeah, do it there. Fine, I'm there.
So I thought I would just give you a history of how I met Arian and why I am here today and what has transpired since I met Arian that has me here today.
Unë kam menduar që ju e dini sepse unë jam frymëzuar që ta mbështes Arian edhe pse jam këtu.
So we met in Berlin at the National Prayer Breakfast.
So jemi takuar në Berlin dhe ka qenë një mëngjes ngrënie internacional. Një mëngjes i lutjeve në gjerman. Okay. I'll translate.
So there were a lot of people from Parliament that were speaking in one of the groups one of the breakouts. There were a lot of people in Parliament that were speaking.
Yes.
And people were talking about the government and what needs to happen in the European Union, and a lot of conversation around what the government needs to do to bring homogeneity and to bring collaboration between the different governments at the moment.
Takimi që bëhet në Berlin, bëhet në Bundestagun gjerman dhe aty ka shumë lider nga të gjitha vendet e botës, janë të gjithë në nivele të lartë, kryeministra, kryetar parlamentesh, president, deputet. Dhe në njërin prej këtyre takimeve, pra në njërin prej këtyre seancave që zhvillohen në Bundestagun gjerman, ne ishim së bashku dhe aty po diskutoj pikërisht për Ballkanin, Balkans.
Yes, Balkans, yes. So at the end, as you can imagine, at the end of all the presentations, there was a question and answer piece. And so they said, are there any questions? I happened to be sitting in the front row, and so I could see everybody, I could listen to everybody. And then all of a sudden, this individual comes up in the middle of the two rows, and there was a microphone, and this person starts talking truth.
Dhe pasi përfunduan prezantimet, filluan pyetjet, përgjigjet dhe diskutimet nga pjesëmarrësit dhe paneli kishte përfunduar kontributet e veta çdo antar I panelit dhe ndërkohë që hapet diskutimi për pjesëmarrësit, del ky djali aty në mes të Bundestagut gjerman, në merr mikrofonin dhe fillon të flasi ashtu vërtetën, trotë.
So I immediately grabbed my phone. I thought, I have to videotape this. And I turned on my video and I put it on Arian and I recorded him. I thought, the more I listened, the more I thought, wow, this is someone who's telling the truth. This is someone who is holding people accountable for doing the work that people in government should be doing to really protect the people, to really be there for the people. And so right after, go ahead.
Dhe unë me një sa po dëgjova fjalët e para, me një më shkoi në mendje që duhet ta marr telefonin dhe duhet ta filmoj këtë njerëj. Dhe drejtova telefonin nga Arian dhe fillova të filmoja fjalimin e tij dhe po shikoj njerëj që po fliste fjalë të cilat ishin për njerëzit që vonte të vërtetën, fliste të vërtetën dhe që mbi gjithë kohë që njerëzit ishin të përgjegjshëm për këtë të vërtetë dhe ishin realizues dhe zbatues të kësaj të vërtete.
So right after everybody finished, there were other people that came in and they started pontificating. And in situations like these, people want to be heard and people want to listen to themselves talk. I did not get that from Arian. What I got from Arian was a true passion. And you got to understand, I've been in the people business for over 25 years, and I can read people. I can see people when people are lying, when people are saying untruths. I can see it 1 mile away. I saw nothing but truth when I heard Arian Galdini.
Ka njerëz që kur flasin që të pëlqehen, pra që të marrin duart trokitje, të pëlqyer, të marrin vëmendje ata. Dhe unë kam 25 vite që unë punoj me njerëzit dhe I dalloj me njerëzit të cilët janë të vërtetë, jo të vërtetë. I dalloj me njerëz dhe ajo që më bëri përshtypje ishte që nuk pash absolutisht asnjë gjuhë dyshimi tek ajo që përfaqësonte Ariani në mënyrën se si fliste dhe në mënyrën se si sillej.
So, right after they finished, everybody in the audience went to the people that were talking. I didn't. I went straight to Arian and I shook his hand and I said, I'm Dr. Betty. I would like to break bread with you. For me, and it's biblical, when I break bread with someone, I choose very carefully who I have around me. And I'll give you my story in just a little bit so that you understand where that comes from. But someone that is living their core values and who speaks the truth unapologetically, to me, is someone that is worth me getting to know. And I wanted to really understand what is it about this person that speaks so truthfully without worried about what do I look like, or what are they going to think of me, and oh my goodness, should I say the right thing, and nothing like that. It was just truth.
Dhe unë ju afrova herë dhe thash që unë jam Beti Uribe, doktor Beti Uribe, dhe unë duaj që neve të thyem bukë së bashku. Dhe do ta dini edhe që unë kur e bëj këtë ftesë, unë jam njëri që unë e zgjedh me shumë kujdes se me cilët njerëz vendos që të thyej bukë. Dhe ajo që më bëri përshtypje dhe pse e doja këtë gjë me Arianin është sepse unë kuptova që ai nuk kishte droje për të thënë vërtetën, nuk kishte frikë për të thënë vërtetën, nuk ishte duke menduar se çfarë do të mendonin tjerët kur të dëgjonin vërtetën. Nuk po e vriste mendjen fare se si do reagonin njerëzit e fuqishëm kur dëgjonin mënyrën se si ai po fliste. Ai thjesht po fliste të vërtetën dhe kaq.
So we started to get to know each other. Fast forward, we're now in here at a leadership conference that I was asked to speak at, and Arian was there again, and we started to talk deeper about his past, about my past, about Christina was there, and some of the team was there, and we had some incredible conversations during the meeting, and I got to know him a little bit better. And then I had an opportunity to listen to these women, and I'm going to tell you about a project that I started during that meeting, really, and how Arian Galdini and his team have just been so amazing in this project, where I have really gotten to know, when you see someone acting according to what they say their core values are, that is when you know that the person is true.
Dhe më pas ne u bëm miq dhe pastaj fillon merrnim pjesë në shumë aktivitete, takoheshim në për evente të ndryshme dhe derisa erdhi takimi që u bë në Prishtinë në Kosovë, ku ne ishim me gjithë ekipin, me një pjesë të ekipit të Lëvizjes së Re, dhe aty përveç se folëm thellë, sepse kaluam shumë kohë së bashku për të shkuarën tonë, për idetë tona, për besimet tona, për gjithçka, aty ndodhi edhe që Dr. Beti njohu organizatën e grave të përdhunuara nga ushtarët serb gjatë luftës. Dhe ajo zbuloi nevojën e tyre sepse në 15 vite ato gra janë rreth 20.000 gra të përdhunuara nga ushtarët serb. Ato gra po bënin një punë të jashtëzakonshme për të rehabilituar viktimat e luftës, por ishin përdorur nga të gjitha qeveritë dhe nga gjithë politikanët, si shikonin çfarë po ndodh dhe për kur nuk ishte bërë diçka e vërtet për to, dhe Beti e ndjeu në zemër se duhet bënte diçka për to. Dhe u përfshi në këtë projekt.
So there was a circle, and people were talking about their life, and as I listened to the circle, I realized, oh my goodness, I was born in Colombia, in Bogota, Colombia, and I left the country during the drug lords, when they were bombing the country, when people were getting bombs on women's necks and blowing them up, and there was a lot that was happening in Colombia, and things were happening in my family that caused my mother to decide to leave the country, and we migrated to the United States when I was 12. And I just started thinking, there were these women that were talking about the outrageous atrocities that were done to their children, to the girls, and to the men, and the boys. And it touched my heart. And I realized, oh my God, we're all so human. All of us, and the people here have gone through so much. And these women that were going through all of this, I thought, somebody needs to do something. And so I asked, I had lunch with the women, and they told me that there were the 25,000 people that were savagely raped here and in Kosovo during the war. And I asked, so how many people are you servicing? And they said, well, 400 people. And how many counselors, how many therapists? One. One therapist for 400 people. And I thought, is it you, the person that was sitting with me for lunch? And she said, yeah. And I said, how are you taking care of you? And tears started coming down her eyes. And I thought, I have to do something. So the conference finished and we came to Albania. And I was hosted and I was supposed to be for 3 days on vacation on the beach. And all I could think of was those women. That's all I could think of was those women. I had talked to some people and I said, we need to do something about this. We can't just do nothing. And I remember when we went to visit the women, they said people for 15 years have come here and have done nothing from the United States. They've come for 15 years and they listen to our stories and they hear everything. They cry with us, they hug us, and they leave, and we never see them again. I didn't say anything because I'm not the kind of person that's going to say, I'm going to help you. I let my actions talk because talk is cheap. There's too many people in this world that talk.
Po e përmbledh në pak fjalë. Pra kur unë dëgjova historinë e grave që po flisnin aty gjatë konferencës në Prishtinë, më kujtua koha kur unë u largova nga Bogota. Unë kam lindur në Bogota, në Kolombia thotë. Dhe kemi emigruar nga Kolombia, kemi ikur drejt Shtetit Bashkuar të Amerikës në kohën kur lufta e karteleve të drogës, e lordëve të drogës në Kolumbi kishte kaluar në një nivel kur ata hidhnin bomba kudo, madje u lidhnin bomba në varse grave dhe hidhnin në erë. Dhe kështu që kur dëgjova historinë e këtyre grave, unë u preka jashtëzakonisht shumë sepse ato po tregonin jo për 20 si shtashur që parë, por 25.000 viktima të përrunimeve, të përçudnimeve që kishin bërë ushtarët serb në Kosovë. Dhe këto gra po tregonin historinë dhe unë u preka sepse sidomos u preka kur pasi i ftova për drejt për të ditur më mirë cila ishte nevoja e tyre dhe çfarë bënin, ato më treguan që në këto momente ato po kujdeseshin për 400 viktima të cilat nuk kanë mundur të rekuperohen dot që nga ajo kohë dhe nuk i ndihmonte askush dhe kishin vetëm një këshilluese, vetëm një asistente sociale, vetëm një psikologe që bënte dhe asistente sociale dhe psikologe dhe këshilluesen për 400. Imagjinoni pak sa pak ndihmë dhe mbështetje kishin ato. Dhe unë ndjeva shumë keq, nuk u dhash fjalën sepse unë kam njerëz që jap fjalën, por më njëherë u betova vetëm time që unë dua të bëj diçka reale për këto gra.
And so Christina came to where we were and we started talking and Christina, for those of you, I'm sure all of you know her, but she is your chief of staff for the party. And we started talking. I fell in love with this woman because she has the same passion as he does. It's almost like a duplicate of Arian. And she said, do you want to go back? I said, yes, I want to go back. I can't stay here. I can't go to the beach. Are you kidding me when I can make a difference? So she said, we'll take you. And I said, okay, who is we? Arian Galdini. Arian Galdini. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. So I stayed behind and we went and and we had a 3-hour ride. And so Arian gets in the car and he says, okay, who are you meeting with? And I said, I'm meeting with the mayor and I'm meeting with this person and this one person from Parliament. He said, that's not enough. Just wait. He starts texting. He said, okay, you have a meeting on this time with this person. You have a meeting with this time with this person. Okay, at 2:00, at 3:00, at 4:00, 5:00, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we had a dinner with a circle like this with nothing but parliament leaders and community leaders. And then tomorrow we have at 8 a.m. this one, and at 9 a.m. and at 3 days. 3 days of meetings with people that could really listen and really take a turn. You know, people say if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And be careful with the company you keep, and be really careful with the people that you have around you. And this is something that my mother taught me when I was very little, is choose very wisely. You know, who, dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres. Tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are. That is what I learned when I was little. My children, to this day, they say this in Spanish, even though they were born, all three of them were born in the United States.
Dhe mbasi mbaron konferenca në Kosovë, doktor Beti vjen në Shqipëri për të kaluar 3 ditë për të pushuar. Në fakt, unë u largova nga Shqipëria ato 3 ditë dhe unë nuk isha këtu dhe doktor Beti mendoi se unë nuk doja të takoja më. Për arsye se faktikisht kishte edhe shoqëri që unë nuk e pëlqeja shumë faktikisht. Por nuk ishte vërtet, unë thjesht kisha planifikuar mos isha në Shqipëri. Dhe ndërkohë që Beti bisedonte me Kristinën, i thotë unë nuk dua të bëj pushime, unë dua të bëj diçka për projektin e thotë. Dhe Kristina thotë dakor, thotë atëherë do të çoj ne në Kosovë. Prap. Dhe thotë Beti kush ne? I thotë sepse ajo mendonte se unë nuk do shkoja më. I thotë do të çojmë ne me Arian Galdini, thotë. I thotë Beti me Arian Galdini, thotë wow, thotë dakor, thotë në rregull, thotë do shkojmë. Dhe unë kthehem, marrim mondin në timon edhe nisemi të katërt. Dhe kur urim në makinë pyes doktor Betin, kë do takosh? Që në momentin që më tha emrin, atë unë kuptova që Ballkani është një zonë e komplikuar dhe kuptova që thjesht do ta fusni në një vrim lepuri nga e cila s'do ditë dot kurrë. Dhe i thash, nuk ke për të bërë gjë me këta, do të sillim vërdall dhe mora telefonin dhe i them, ok, filan orë do takosh filanin. Filan orë do takosh filanin dhe i mbusha agjendën 3 ditë rresht, çdo një orë duke takuar pothuajse të gjithë politikanët jo vetëm politikanët, por të gjithë drejtuesit e komuniteteve, grupe, duke organizuar dreka, darka me grupe parlamentarësh, deputetësh e Kosovës, liderësh nga qeveria, nga opozita, për ta çuar projektin drejt rrugës së mbarë.
So you have to understand that going was one thing, but realizing that they were going to be with me for 3 days was a whole nother thing. They didn't have clothes, they didn't have toothbrush, toothpaste, nothing. They thought that they were coming only for 1 day, but they saw, Arian saw, this is going to take more, and I had 3 days to get things done. That's it, because in 3 days, you know, Cinderella turns into a pumpkin, right? the thing turns into, so you have the time, and it was like that. I had an urgency to get it done, and I remember we were in the car Monday when Aria says, okay, team, we're going to stay for 3 days. So they left me. They never said anything. I was meeting with somebody from the parliament.
Every time.
And yes. And they, all of a sudden, I'm meeting with this person. I'm telling him about the project, and they leave. And I thought, nothing bothers me because golly, we've, you know, lived so much. And I thought, oh, they left me alone. Okay, they have to go to the restroom or something. They come back with toothbrush, toothpaste, and because they knew that now they're going to stay for 3 days. Who does that?
Kur ne u nisëm drejt Prishtinës, faktikisht ne u nisëm për të kthyer brenda ditës. Kjo ishte ideja dhe nga ajo që unë dëgjova dhe nga agjenda që doli rrugës, unë e kuptova që ne do na duheshin 3 ditë atje, por ne ishim të papërgatitur, pa ndresa, pa veshje, pa pasdëmësh, pa asnjë gjë. Dhe kur e çojmë Betin dhe shkon në takimin e parë Betit, pa i rënë në sy, i themi unë me mondin po largohemi pak, dhe ajo mendoi se ne ikëm e lam vetëm. Dhe vetëm kur na sheh kthehemi me çanta që kishim marrë ca ndresa, bizhama për të fjetur, kishim marrë pas dëmbësh për të qenuar 3 ditë.
It's the first time I tell this story in public. It's amazing.
Dhe kush e bën këtë, thot Beti, kush e bën këtë?
The what?
Yeah, kush e bën këtë, like who does that?
Yeah, who does that, right? An angel does that. Absolutely, yes. So we proceeded to have the meetings, and we got an agreement that there were people that were with us to do this with the ladies. We went and saw the ladies, and I have pictures, and I will post the pictures after this so that the people on social media can see the pictures, because um, the experience in Albania with these three individuals, with Professor Arian Galdini leading the way, was unlike, and I've had incredible experiences in my life, and I'll share some of those later. But this experience of having, it's almost like when Moses was, you read in the Bible about Moses opening up the sea. It's almost like Professor Moses over here touching and opening up the doors. And all of a sudden, almost miraculously, the doors began to open. Not for us. It wasn't for his gain. He had absolutely zero gain in all of this. Nobody knew that he was there. It wasn't like there was a camera and he was looking and saying, look at me. Nothing like that. And so uh, the doors opened up. We talked to the ladies. The ladies were incredibly grateful. And before I left, the building that the ladies were there, because of your connections, and just the if you can go with me for a moment, everybody that we would walk into from government, from parliament, they received Arian Galdini as a brother. Everyone, every single individual, and we have met from that moment until now, we have met dozens of people in the Balkans, in Albania, in Kosovo. Honestly, I was surprised to see that people in Kosovo would open up the doors, that he would just come in. Anya, come on in, my brother, like that, like that. Every single person. And people don't do that with people that they don't trust. People don't do that with people that they don't acknowledge. It was very, very special. And so through his actions, I got to know Arian. And I tell you today, I call him my brother.
Well, you are mixed.
Would you like to translate
I,
now?
I won't translate that much sugar. I have diabetes.
Maybe Christina can translate even though you're behind the camera.
Christina, translate and
Yeah. Uh,
you lost the voice.
oh, okay.
There,
You're going to have to.
Some of this you. Gjëja është që Beti tha që ashtu si Mojsiu që hapte detet, ne pamë se si u hapën dyert në Kosovë, kudo. Dhe ajo që mua më bëri shumë përshtypje ishte që të gjithë pyesën, po kush është përfitimi i Arianit? Çfarë lidhje ka Ariani në këtë histori? Ariani jo vetëm që nuk kishte asnjë përfitim, zero përfitim, zero, asnjë lloj përfitimi, por gjëja kryesore ishte që ai në çdo takim, edhe pse ishte hapsi i dyerve, nuk qëndronte për të rënë në sy, për të hyrë në foto, por shmangej, largohej nga fotot, nga filmimet, nga kamerat, dhe linte fushën e lirë, pothuajse sikursi ishte aty. Ariani i tjetri. Dhe I'm speaking about the other area, not for the other one. Dhe ja kaq mjafton. Po me pak fjalë, zonjat kishin një godinë tmerrsisht të vjetër, me kushte të pa imagjinueshme. Ato s'kishin as internet, as banjo, as gjë, të ftohtë, të nxehtë aty në ato kushte, dhe ato lihen atij që bënin këtë shërbim fisnik që bënin ato për viktimat e luftës. Dhe ne do të mbajmë që brenda 3 ditëve u dham një godinë të re. Pra ne ndryshuam gjithçka, do dham një godinë të re brenda 3 ditëve.
And not only did we make an impact, but also I was observing the entire time because I've been in the financial services industry for over 25 years in my professional life. And I've also been an entrepreneur, and I've dealt with a lot of people in my life. And at one point in my career, I took care of the operations, the back shop of a bank, of a huge part of a bank. And in that, you see theft, you see the people who are lying to you, you see the people who are taking money, you see the people. I litigated, I'm not an attorney, but I litigated 86 cases in a court of law in the United States, where we fought against people who took money from our customers. So for me, and I've seen things happen. I've seen the trends of possible theft, a lot of theft, and I've stopped the theft because I can see it. I have this nose, this Colombian nose. It's like the Albanian nose. You can kind of see things. So all of this time, I'm observing. I'm watching the expressions. I'm watching to see, is he genuinely happy? Why is he here? I kept asking, why is he here? And why are they here? And we rejoiced together, we cried together, we laughed together, we had coffee, a lot of coffee in between meetings, and we would just
Colombian coffee, but not white coffee.
And so I was just really observing because 3 days with somebody, days only, 3 days, and all joking aside, 3 days with someone, you get to know them pretty well, especially when you're fighting to get things done. And you can just see the ease with which you just opened up doors. It was absolutely amazing.
Unë jam në backgroundin tim, jam njeri I financave dhe e megjithatë nga që kam punuar shumë me shumë projekte në bankën që kam drejtuar dhe në të gjitha projektet që kam punuar, kam ndjekur të gjitha rastet që kanë bënë me parat, me financat. Dhe madje edhe unë vetë shpeshherë kur shikoja këtë gjë që s'po më dukej e vërtet, kur pyesja, "Ore, po këta pse janë këtu? Po ky njeri pse është këtu? Çfarë fitojnë këta?" Dhe përpiqesha që të observoja dhe të tjera reagimet, gestikulacionin, mënyrën se si flisnin, pra kishin një përfitim, kishin një agent dhe ndërsa I shija që hapnin dyer, kuptova që jo vetëm që po e bënin këtë gjë në mënyrën më të pastër të mundshme, por ne ishim bashkë, kaluam kohë bashkë, qëndruam bashkë dhe ne po harxhonim nga xhepat tanë për një gjë që s'kishte pikë lidhje me ne. Madje as pas për vetë s'kishte pikë lidhje historia, vetëm për ne jo.
So then later, so we were able to make big steps toward getting these women into a brand new building. One of his friends from the government got the government of Kuwait to give us a brand new building so that we can move these ladies to a place where they can feel worthy. The building they were in was not in good standing. I went to the restroom. I take a look at everything. I went to the restroom. The restrooms weren't working well. There was just so much that it felt very cold. And so if you think about someone who has been perpetrated in such a way, you need a beautiful place. You need a place that's going to comfort them. You need a place that's going to welcome them. And that wasn't the place. And now we have this.
Unë mund të them që brenda pak ditëve ne arritëm që ndryshuam krejt situatën, pra morëm një godinë të re Njëri prej miqve të mi bindi qeverinë e Kuvajtit që të na jepte godinën e re. Dhe kjo u krye dhe kthej brez pse kur kam pash godinën e vjetë që na shpjegove pak fjalë, ajo ishte në kushte të tmerrshme. Kështu që ne ja dolëm ban dhe ato gra për shkak të asaj që kanë vuajtur, për shkak të shërbimit që bëjnë, ato kanë nevojë për një ambient dinjitos ku atyre t'u rikthehet dinjiteti, t'u rikthehet prestigji si njerëz të lënduar nga jeta.
So then I went home and I said, okay, we need a project manager. We met, we got a project manager on the ground. And then fast forward, things happened in my life. Now I'm back home, and my home is in Los Angeles, California. And I've done some work in Washington, D.C. because my doctorate thesis, my dissertation was on values, and I interviewed generals from the White House and the Pentagon. And during that interview period, over 13, 14 years ago, I got to know people in Washington, D.C., and somehow God puts me in places where things happen. And things have always happened. And so I got very connected with people in Washington. And during this time, this has been now a year. And in the last year, most recently, I was doing some work with government in Colombia. And I posted something online, and I got a phone call from Washington, D.C. saying, I love what you're doing. I want to deputize you to invite people to the National Prayer Breakfast from the Americas. I thought, me? Yeah, you, okay. So I thought Professor Arian Galdini gets to come. Why? And as I prayed about it, his name just came coming up to me. And I thought, people like Arian and people like Animete and people like Lufti, these are individuals who are, I saw them in live. I saw them really help with something that had nothing to do with them. It wasn't for their gain. And I thought the right people get to come. And if you think about the National Prayer Breakfast in the United States, the president, one of the first presidents started this so that leaders from around the world would come and get together and pray for the leaders around the world, for each other. And I thought, oh my goodness, these are the right kind of people. So I called and I said, I know you told me the Americas only, but I've got this Professor Arian Galdini from the Balkans. Can I invite from the Balkans also? And they said, yes, we trust you. Whoever you choose they can come. So so those of you who are watching, don't think that I'm just going to invite just anybody, because it's a big responsibility. And so I invited Arian to come. And little did I know that he already knew a lot of people that I know. He had already been in those places. In fact, and I don't know how often you talk about, you've been honored by a president of the United States before, and by Donald. And you were, I invited you to this place that is a secret place where dignitaries come, and you had already been there. And so he was already part of the inner sanctum in a lot of different circles in Washington, D.C., so it wasn't new to you. In fact, I was introducing him to people, and he was introducing me to people in my own land, which was really interesting. But throughout this time...
You were the manager of Andrea Bocelli. I introduced him.
Oh, yes, yes. And so if you think about now, in the last 12 months, all of these things that have transpired in our brother sisterhood, and then all of a sudden I hear that people are saying things about Arian. And I was raised with three brothers, And my oldest brother passed away 5 years ago from a brain tumor, from a glioblastoma. I took care of my brother. My brother moved into my house. His daughter and myself, his only daughter and myself, took care of him. And so I know what it's like to have a brother. And my oldest brother had already passed away. When I call someone my brother, this is why I'm telling you about my brother Fernando, because it's a very special place to put somebody in your life. And that's where I put him. He's my brother. And when I heard that things were happening, when I got, you have no idea, when I got the message that people were saying bad things about him and saying lies about him. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this man is an honest man. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this man is someone who really genuinely cares about the community. I know that his voice is being heard. I know, and not just by the community, but also by the fellow leaders who welcome him. And so when I saw that, I thought, oh my goodness, I have to come back. When am I coming back? And we have this project, and Liana, a beautiful woman in Latvia, invited me to come and speak at her conference. And I promised her I was going to come, and I came. And I called Daddy and I said, you know, I feel that God is sending me to come and see you, and to stand with you in these moments. And I think if people knew, people would say, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? But if you know me, you know that there are two things that get me: lies and injustice. Only that. You talk to my children are grown, and they will tell you, I never lose my temper. I just don't. But the two times, probably, maybe two, that they have seen me angry are the two times that I have seen lies and injustice happen. And that's what happened. And so I came, and we've been furthering the project even more. We just came back from Kosovo, and we saw the director of the place, and she just hugged us with so much warmth, and so exciting to be able to work on this together. And it's a journey. It's been a journey. And so I'm so honored to be here and to be part of this incredible community. You know, I went and I looked at my, what is it, my 23andMe, because I took that test on the genes, and I called Arian and I said, oh my gosh, I have Balkan blood in me. Remember that?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm one of you, maybe a little bit, but I'm one of you. But the culture here is so similar to the culture in Colombia. I landed, and the person that picked me up, I said, oh my gosh, we're in Bogota. It feels like we're in Bogota, like we're in my country, and I feel so welcome.
We share same spirit, same selves.
Yes. Same spirits and cells, I know. Well, I said a lot. I don't know if you can translate all of that. You want to try? Translating.
Translating.
Yeah.
Okay, they understood, I think. Shkurt dhe qartë, Beti tha që mbas gjithë kësaj u kthye në shtëpi, pra mbas Kosovës, dhe pastaj nga që Beti punon shumë me gjeneral në shtëpinë e bardhë dhe në Pentagon, lidhjet në Washington i kërkuan asaj që aty njeriu kryesor që fton në eventin që organizon presidenti amerikan çdo vit në mëngjesin e lutjeve, lider dhe përfaqësues të qeverisë kolumbiane të Amerikës Latine, por Beti e kishte mendjen që të ftonte patjetër Arian Galdinin dhe kërkoi leje atyre, dhe po ashtu dhe një pjesë të miqve të Arian Galdinit, që ishin politikanë dhe nga Kosova dhe më gjërë. Dhe kur shkojmë në Washington së bashku, Beti mori re që Arian Galdini aty i njihte të gjithë, ishte i shtëpisë, dhe disa miq ja prezantonte Ariani Betit, disa miq ja prezantonte Beti Arianit, dhe Kjo është faka shumë. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very honored to be standing here with you and with all of you because we are part of one community. I feel like when I'm here, I feel like I have brothers and sisters, and I am so committed to really supporting this community, and I just think that if more people know about you, more people will support, and so um, that's it. That's all I have to say.
And it's enough. Now we can eat.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes. Let's
Are
eat.
you hungry?
Let's break bread together.
Let's break bread.
Yes.
Atëherë, unë e falenderoj shumë Betin. Thank you very much for all you said, all you shared. It's totally unpolitical to be emotional.
Too bad.
Too bad.
That's me.
But
Too late. No, too bad. Not too late. Too bad.
Not too bad. Later too bad.
I'm not a politician, so I can be myself.
I get confused when you say too late, too bad. I say later too bad. No. So we have still to stay awake, and we will do a lot of things together. Here you can see each one of these people here. They are very special for this country, but not just for this country, because they are a great example. Can I take your mobile? It's only one mobile who united all these people. No money, no profits, no gain, no interest. Only one mobile and one Facebook page. It's a unique story to see.
Yeah.
An idea coming from one person, and from one person through one Facebook page and one mobile, you now have a community, and this community is growing deep, but is growing even in numbers every day, is growing mature. And the real thing that I could tell you is that we don't care whether we will be successful or not, but we know for sure that God will use this thing, this community, to really build up his great plan for Albania. And thank you for being 30% Albanians. We'll make sure to make you 100% Albanian. So you are very welcome in this family.
Thank you.
And we consider you part of this family. And yes, I have one sister too. One of them is 100% my blood. You are still 30% my blood. But it's really a great honor to consider you my second sister. And I'm happy to say that, look, sometimes we project future by not thinking about it. Sometimes we just swing in it. And in this world, best swimmers are those who don't seek earth, but are those who look on the heights to see for the hope called Urbardat.
Seagull.
Look high for the signals. They read the signals. They don't need to seek earth. They read the signals.
You know, it's funny because I spoke at the National Prayer Breakfast, said a few words last year. And one of the things we had 91 leaders, kings, queens, presidents, prime ministers, members of parliament, members of Congress, members of Senate. And I was the only non-politician who spoke. And I said the closing prayer. And one of the things I said was, today we're planting a tree. And the tree that we're planting, people that 100 years from now will be sitting under that tree. We won't know them. They won't know who we are. When we pass away, Our picture maybe will be hanging on the wall for a little bit. And our families will miss us. This will go to belong to somebody or it'll be nothing. Even the jewelry will go to somebody else. Whatever we own, the little bit we own, will go to somebody else. And then eventually our picture will make it to the garage. And then another generation, and then the picture gets lost, and now we're forgotten. But that tree stays behind. And the people that are going to be sitting under that tree will be eating the fruit of that tree. What are we feeding that tree today? What gifts do we have today that God has given us? And what are we feeding that tree that the other people are going to be coming and being nurtured by it? And in my study, my doctoral study on values, one of the things that I found of the best leaders is that they lead with a higher purpose. They don't lead focusing on what I'm going to do today, what's going to happen to me today. They lead with a much higher purpose. And those are the leaders that are the happiest. Those are the leaders that make a difference. Those are the leaders that have followers. Those are the leaders that speak their mind. And those are the leaders like Professor Arian Galdini. He's a true value-centered leader. And for me, it really is an honor for you to call me your sister. And it's an honor to be here. It's really an honor to be with this community of people who genuinely, you're not alone. You're not alone. There's so much. The people that I talk to in America about my trips here, and I post, look at my posts. I post about the people I meet. I post about you. I post about the things that I'm seeing here. And people are like, wow, I had no idea. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. You're not alone. And the people that that you have introduced me to are just embrace you, and they're just so wonderful. This week we had dinner with an incredible human from here, and we're going to be seeing some more of this individual. And I keep meeting people that are really supporting. So don't feel like you're alone, because you're not. And it's just such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Atëherë faleminderit shumë nga zemra, falenderojmë edhe doktor Betin dhe nesër në orën 7:30 tek selia e Lëvizjes së Re. Tomorrow 7:30 in the evening.
Yes.
Okay. A wider group. Okay. Nesër në 7:30. Natë më mirë.